Prime contractor, who you've heard mentioned from Foss Maritime, Rick McKenna, here to give us a few comments about this day and how proud he must be of his folks.
Thank you, Secretary Peterson. So I'm Rick McKenna, and I was had the honor of being the project manager for Foss on the construction of the Sanpoil. On behalf of Foss, I'd like to start out by thanking the state of Washington, the Confederated Tribes of the Colville Reservation, Washington Department of Transportation, and Washington State Ferries for the opportunity to build and deliver this beautiful ferry boat. Foss prides itself on tackling some of the toughest projects around the globe, and we really appreciate the opportunity to tackle one right here in our own home state. Thank you for the trust and confidence you showed us by awarding us this contract. As far as the project goes, I can honestly say that this project was one of the most challenging ones that I've ever been a part of. It involved building the largest boat Foss has ever built at our own shipyard, transporting that boat in pieces over the highway to a shipyard we had to build out of a gravel parking lot, reassembling the boat, launching it down a recreational boat ramp into a lake that didn't have a place to moor it because these terminals were being modified at the time. It seemed like just when we passed one first ever major milestone, we take a quick breath and start gearing up for the next first ever major milestone. But what made this project such a success, despite the challenges, or perhaps because of the challenges, was the overriding sense of teamwork from all players. Foss, our subcontractors, WSF, we all worked together toward the same goal, to build and deliver a quality boat. And I think we achieved that in spades. At this point, I'd like to acknowledge and thank some of the major players in the construction of the Sanpoil. Thank you to Steve Peters and Joe Knobb, the Washington State Ferry project engineer and vessel inspector assigned to the project. Their knowledge and direction, patience and professionalism were always welcome, as was the secret stash of chocolate that Steve kept in his middle drawer. I'd like to thank the U.S. National Park Service and Bureau of Reclamation for letting us use the site there at Crescent Bay to assemble, launch, and moor the boat. Without your kind assistance and help, none of this would have been possible. Thanks to our partners at Craftsman United, Mr. Dan Wiggins right there, who brought their skill and expertise with aluminum to work side by side with Foss at Rainier and here at Lake Roosevelt. You guys worked tirelessly to get this boat assembled in such a short time, and the result is amazing. I'd like to thank all of our subs, U.S. Joiner, Sunglow, PCI, and Long Painting, but most of all I'd like to thank L-Tech, our electrical sub. Foss has a long history with L-Tech, and once again you proved your value to us by working over and around the other crafts as we attempted to build a boat all at the same time. They patiently adjusted their schedule to meet ours, and then readjusted it again when we changed ours. Jeff LeBlanc is in the audience. He and his crew did an amazing job. Lastly, I'd like to give a big thank you to the Foss Rainier shipyard workers who not only worked long hours in Rainier, Oregon, but then moved away from home and family since March of this year to finish the boat here at Lake Roosevelt. These guys have worked 10 to 12 hour days, 6 to 7 days per week since March. They've given up their weekends, the Memorial Day, their 4th of July, all to get this boat done and finished, tested, and into service. The end result of all this hard work and dedication is the motor vessel Sanpoil, which now floats under us. She'll enter service in just a little bit, and since she was built with such care and craftsmanship, she'll be plying these waters for a long time to come. Thank you.
The terminal prime contractor was Max Cooney, and is Max here today? Max, are you going to come on up and speak? It says Max will probably decline, so we are honored. We are honored to have Max speak today.
Thank you, Lynn. Well, it's true. I didn't actually know this would be an opportunity until I got here today. So the good news is I have no prepared remarks, and this will be short. We are very privileged to have been a part of this very important project. Max Cooney Company, we're a 4th generation family construction business in Spokane, so we've been part of Eastern Washington for a long time. I'd like to thank Bob Hilmus and his crew and their partnership here. Normally with Bob we're building bridges on the North Spokane corridor, so this was a little different for all of us. I'd like to thank Paul French, our project manager, Kelly Weiss, our superintendent, and mostly I'd like to thank everybody here for your patience. I'm sure the 30 days or so that we had the terminals out of service seemed forever for you guys, but I can assure you for our team it was really short. So we appreciate your patience. This was a very fast turnaround project, and we look forward to seeing the new boat in service. So thank you.
you know what? Somebody came in a little late, but we want to call him out, and that's former Senator Bob Morton from the 7th District, who played a key role in helping us get to this point as well. Bob, where are you? So we can acknowledge. There you are. Round of applause. We have two folks left, and they are from the legislature who helps keep us moving here in Washington. Representative Sheila Short, will you please come forward from the 7th District? Thank you so much for being here today and helping us celebrate.
Wow, I can't believe we're here today. This has been a long time coming. Chairman Finley, Jeannie, thank you so much. It's so good to see you. And back in September of 2009, we got a call from Jeannie and said, we've got a problem. We lost funding to replace the ferry, and we need to sit down and figure this thing out. And Jeannie and Johnny Stensgar and Bonnie Timontois came to my office in Republic along with Bob Morton and Joel Kretz, and we charted a path. And that first path was a really important one, and I'm going to share a really funny story. We actually set forth to do a show me tour, to actually have legislators and other folks interested coming from the west side and other parts of the state to actually ride the Martha S. We thought that we wanted people to know that this wasn't a want to, this was a need to. And Chairman, as you spoke of the children who traveled this ferry and the safety issues that our community members and our schools and our just truck drivers and everything faced every day going on the boat. And so we did that, and it happened to be a really blustery, foggy October day, and the water was very rough. And I remember we had former Representative Dan Roach came, and Representative Larry Sequist came, and we had the congressional delegation came, and just Colville Tribe hosted such a wonderful lunch and get together to really plot what we were going to do and to chart a course. But the funny comment came as we were just getting on the boat, and someone whispered to me, I just have to ask, is this boat really safe? And so really, to me, our job was done. It was just about getting there. And I don't mean to belabor anything, but there were so many incredible people who helped get us to this point today. And Keith, we could not have done it without you and your staff's dedication and Department of Transportation being with us every step of the way. Thank you so much. We couldn't do it, Chairman Finley and Jeannie, without the Colville Tribe and without your endless support and dedication. And Miguel, wherever you are out there, the endless worrying nights that we had toward the end of session, hoping and praying and keeping our fingers crossed that funding was going to remain in the budget. As with anything, I wanted to mention someone really special because his role, everything happens for a reason, and timing is for a reason. And sometimes the timing is everything. And this former state representative, I'm looking straight at Mike Armstrong, was our ranking member on the Transportation Committee. He had great relationships, and we could have not also got it done without Judy Cliburn and Mary Margaret Haugen, who chaired those transportation committees. But his relationships with those individuals and the tireless education process that we all did to educate our members of the legislature and of Congress, the need and the importance of this ferry, just was such a crucial role. And Mike, personally, I just cannot thank you enough for getting us over the hump with this. It was just truly, truly, thank you. I appreciate it. A small price to pay. Judy, we lay this part of the district in your able hands as a representative for the 13th. This part has been home to the 7th district, but she is in your able hands. Thank you so much, John Smith, for coming. Thank you for sharing this with us today. There's so much more, but the gratitude I have in my heart for everybody who worked so tirelessly on this is just amazing that we're here today. Thank you.
And lastly, we have a representative, Sheila Stelp, from Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rodgers. Would you please come forward with a statement from the Congresswoman? Thank you.
This little statement will be from the congressman, but also a little personal statement, because I thought I'd be the only one to mention that trip that we went on the Martha S., but almost everyone else mentioned it, because, well, it was an interesting thing. This from the congresswoman. I'm sorry I cannot be with you today at this momentous occasion. This project has been on my monitoring radar for a long time. As you can see by the surrounding hills, we aren't quite the same landscape as the typical ferries on Puget Sound. However, we are every bit as important to the connection of the residents that need to travel Highway 21, connecting the northern and southern segments of Ferry and Lincoln County. From school buses, vacationers, grain trucks, and any variety of needs in our area. This day has been a long time coming, and a myriad of meetings and arm twisting by many, many people. 3 years ago, I don't think it was 3, I think it was longer. It just seems like it was harrowing. And so I guess maybe I thought it was 3, but when we came and rode on the Martha S. to a meeting about a replacement on a, yes, Shelley, windy, blustery, rainy day, with some congressional delegation, they're going, I can't believe we're doing this. We feared for our life. I guess maybe it wasn't that bad, but it was a little scary because we weren't, really used to that. Not to minimize the Martha S. and its mission. It was kept up to standard as it should have been, but it was just getting old, and part replacement was a huge issue, just keeping her afloat and safe. She began operation. Now, she didn't begin operation, but ferry operation, I think, began in the 1890s. And I thought, when I was reading the website, did I ride on a boat that was built in 1890? But now I know it was during the 1930s, I think. So when I hear the 70-year time. I think much of the thanks go to the people who maintained her and were captains and crew from 6 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week since the 1930s. It is time for replacement of the Martha S. And I would like to congratulate WashDOT, the Colville Confederated Tribe, the endless hours of work on their part, the legislators, and everybody else that was involved, and for you coming today to recognize the value of this mission. So from the Congresswoman, thank you very much. Congratulations, and I appreciate that you recognize that we had some part in this celebration.
Thank you, Sheila. Well, here's what you all came for, the christening.